What I did not expect about leaving is how isolating it is. I thought that I was going to be able to maintain certain friendships from that group that were not unhealthy. I'm realizing that the downside to leaving a toxic environment is that there is a period of isolation, and it feels very lonely, and a little bit, it knocks you off balance a little bit. I want to talk about some reasons why you may feel isolated when you've made the choice to leave a toxic environment. One of the reasons is that even if you do try to maintain relationships, if you've chosen to leave quietly and you're not trying to contribute to gossip, once you've left that environment, people are going to talk. Blame shifting is going to start happening. You may not know what's being said about you, but you start to feel it in the friendships that you've maintained, because they start to treat you differently and distance themselves from you. They could be starting to buy into whatever's being said about you behind your back and all the blame shifting that's going on. And so they're changing their opinion of you. They also, even if they're not hearing anything from inside the group or from you, they may experience a certain level of cognitive dissonance because they see that you've decided that this group is no longer healthy for you, but they want to maintain the normalcy, the friendships, the group, the structure. People like that about groups, and especially if it's become embedded as a big part of their life. So when you leave, it is a signal to them that something might be wrong with the group that they're not ready to accept. So rather than sit there and be in discomfort about the cognitive dissonance they're experiencing, they'll fill the gap by saying something's wrong with you, and they'll choose the group. They'll distance themselves from you, and they don't even know why. It's just them struggling with that dissonance. So then you start to feel shut out by people that you may not have been ready or prepared to lose those relationships, and you didn't realize that was going to happen when you left the group. You will find that people will start to feel threatened by your decision. They will prioritize groups over personal friendships, and it's a hard thing to accept. They may just buy into whatever's being said without questioning it. Leaving an environment or leaving a relationship has not been something that I will ponder on for long when things start to feel unhealthy. I experienced 2 deaths back to back at a really young age. My grandmother, she died when I was 13, and she was a big figure in my life. And it was one of those groundbreaking, life-changing deaths. If you've experienced that, you may be able to relate to this. When you experience something like that really young, you learn at a young age, things don't get better. It doesn't ever go back to the way it was when a dynamic or a person or something that is so fundamental in what made whatever it is good, when that's gone, it doesn't go back. I've learned at a very young age not to sit and wait around for things to get good again. Things may change and you may experience good again, but not in the same way. So for me, moving on has not been something that I have a lot of challenges with. If I find that something is it's broken, I don't wait for it to be fixed again. I used to think that I was running all the time, but I'm able to see now a reframing of I'm just somebody who had some life experience and learned very early on that sometimes the sooner you realize it's time to move on, the better you can find new and better experiences. And eventually that might change. It's a decision you make. Do I want to stay and experience the change and see what it becomes? And does it look like this could become something new that could still be something that serves me or that I can serve? Or is this something that's going to continue to change for the worse? It doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision, because like I said, when you're able to learn how to move on, you give yourself the ability and the space and the opportunity to find new relationships, new experiences that are going to serve you. And then one day you just look back on the other ones and their learning lessons. And sometimes you're able to cross paths with people again and reconnect on different terms and circumstances. So I just want to leave you with a little bit of hope. It does get a little bit rough sometimes when you're in that transition, but it does get better. There's light on the other end of the tunnel. There's gold at the end of the rainbow, whatever saying you want to say. Don't doubt your decision. You've done the right thing. Keep looking for your joy.